The emissary's dilemma. The silver shuttle trembled as it approached the celestial nexus. A massive structure of twisted crystals suspended in orbit around the gas giant. Zura Prime, remember your training, Admiral? Cooper said, his voice tight with barely concealed worry. You're not just a scientist anymore? You're humanity's best hope, Mira Chen nodded, smoothing invisible wrinkles from her formal diplomatic uniform. I've spent 5 years studying their language and culture, she replied, trying to project confidence she didn't feel if anyone can find common ground with the Vixari. It's me what Admiral Cooper didn't. Say what everyone at United Earth Command knew, but wouldn't. Acknowledge was that the Vixari Collective had already claimed 3 human colony worlds. In the past year alone, no warnings, no negotiations, just the sudden appearance of their crystalline vessels and the disappearance of human settlements. The shuttle docked with a gentle shudder. They're waiting for you, the pilot said, looking back at Myra with an expression that made her stomach clench. Was it fear? Pity? Perhaps both, as the airlock cycled open. Mira stepped through into a corridor that seemed to be carved from a single massive gemstone light refracted through the walls. Casting rainbow patterns across her skin, she followed her Vixari escort, a tall, willowy being with 4 delicate arms and skin that shifted between shades of emerald and sapphire. The Empress awaits, the escort set in carefully articulated English. You are the first human to be granted audience. The throne room of the celestial nexus defied human architecture. Light and crystal merged into impossible geometries, creating a space that seemed both intimate and vast. Simultaneously, Mira fought to maintain her diplomatic composure as her eyes adjusted to the spectacle before her. Empress Nilith of the Vixar Collective reclined on a floating dais of pulsing crystal. Her skin was a deep royal purple, with luminescent patterns that shifted across her surface like constellations. Her eyes, 4 of them, arranged in a diamond pattern, studied Mira with unnerving intensity. Dr. Chen. Nilith's voice resonated with harmonics impossible for human vocal cords. We have observed your species for decades. Your persistence is admirable. Your expansion is concerning. Mira bowed precisely as her training had instructed. Empress, I bring greetings from Earth and all human worlds. We seek peaceful coexistence and mutual understanding. A sound like crystal wind chimes filled the chamber. Laughter, Mira realized from the assembled Vixari court piece. Nilith repeated, the word hanging in the air between them, an interesting concept from a species that wages war upon itself. What guarantee can you offer that humans would maintain peace with beings so different from themselves? For 3 days, Mira argued humanity's case. She presented historical examples of human cooperation, artistic achievements, philosophical frameworks for interspecies ethics. She slept little, ate the strange foods offered without complaint, and never wavered in her mission. On the 4th day, Commander Koresh, Nilith's second guiding man, interrupted the negotiations with news that a human vessel had violated Vixari territory. A misunderstanding, Mira insisted. Our ships would never intentionally. The vessel was destroyed, Koresh said, his orange eyes fixed on Mira. We found weapons. Your words ring hollow. Human Empress Nilith rose from her dais, towering over Mira. These negotiations are concluded, she announced. You will remain here as assurance of human compliance with our territorial claims. I'm being held prisoner, Mira asked, her diplomatic training finally cracking. Nilith approached until she stood directly before Mira, close enough that Mira could see the subtle variations in her purple skin. Not prisoner, the Empress said quietly, her primary eyes narrowing. Truth-bearer, I sense something different in you. Dr. Chen, something I wish to understand. As guards escorted her to luxurious but secure quarters, Mira realized that her mission had transformed entirely. She was no longer Earth's emissary. She was now something far more dangerous. She was interesting to the Empress of the Vixari Collective. Asterisk. Amethyst whispers. Mariah's new quarters within the celestial nexus resembled a human apartment filtered through alien perception. The furniture curved in unexpected ways. The bed, a floating platform of soft luminescence. The walls pulsed with subtle light patterns that seemed to respond to her moods. The Empress requests your presence for the evening meal, announced her attendant Talia, a younger Vixari female whose skin shifted between lavender and periwinkle tones. She wishes for private conversation. Mira raised an eyebrow. Private? No, Commander Koresh? Watching my every move? Talia's forehands gestured in what Mira recognized as amusement. The commander disapproves. Naturally, he believes all humans are deceptive by nature. She helped Myra select appropriate attire-flowing garments of material that felt like liquid silk. The Empress rarely dines alone with anyone. She finds you curious like a laboratory specimen. I imagine, Mira muttered. Perhaps Talia replied with unexpected candor. But specimens are not usually invited to dine. The private dining chamber was smaller than Mira expected. Intimate, even a terrace opened to the gas giant Azura Prime. Its swirling storms casting purple and gold light across the crystalline floor. Empress Nilith already waited. Her formal regalia replaced by simpler, though no less elegant. Attired Dr. Chen Nilith gestured to the seat across from her. Please join me, as Mira sat. She noticed they were truly alone. No guards, no attendants, no Commander Koresh. Watching from the shadows, this is unexpected. Empress Nilith, the Empress corrected. Her four eyes studying Mira intently when we are alone. Formality seems unnecessary. She poured a shimmering liquid into 2 glasses. This is compatible with human physiology. We tested it. Reassuring, Myra said dryly. Accepting the glass, though, I wonder when you collected human biological data to test compatibility. A ripple of amusement passed across Nilith's purple skin. Luminescent patterns briefly intensifying. You speak your mind. This is not common among those who attend my court. Fear tends to discourage honesty, and you are not afraid. Mira sipped the drinks, surprisingly pleasant. Like honeyed jasmine with a hint of something alien but appealing. I'm terrified. My world's future depends on my actions here, but fear serves no purpose if it prevents me from speaking truth. Their conversation flowed with surprising ease. Nilith asked endless questions about Earth, about human relationships, about emotions. Mira found herself explaining concepts like nostalgia, heartbreak, the comfort of rain against windows. Her scientific training made her a natural teacher. And Nilith proved an eager student. Your species experiences such intensity, Nilith observed. Leaning forward, the Vixari evolved beyond many emotional extremes. We consider it advancement. Yet sometimes I wonder what was lost. Emotional regulation is valuable, Mira acknowledged, but emotion itself. It's our compass, our motivation, our connection to each other. Nihilith's primary eyes narrowed. Show me. Show you emotion. How would I describe something that moves you deeply? Something personal, Mira hesitated. Then spoke of her grandmother's garden on Earth, the smell of soil after rain, the feeling of sun-warmed tomatoes, the sound of bees among lavender. How these memories contained more meaning than any scientific discovery she'd ever made. When she finished, Nilith was silent, her luminescence pulsing slowly. Fascinating. You speak of simple sensory experiences, yet they contain entire universes of meaning. That's being human, Mira said softly there. Evening meetings became regular occurrences each night. Myra shared more of humanity, poetry, music, descriptions of Earth's landscapes. Nilith revealed small, careful fragments of herself. In return, her lonely childhood as future Empress. The weight of leading an entire collective, the subtle beauty she found in mathematical patterns 2 weeks into her captivity. Mira entered the dining chamber to find Nilith standing at the terrace edge, looking troubled. What's wrong? Mira asked. Approaching cautiously, Commander Koresh believes you are manipulating me. Nilith said without turning. He insists our conversations are a human strategy to weaken Vixari resolve. And what do you believe? Nilith turned then, her purple skin shifting with complex emotions Myra couldn't fully interpret. I believe you are dangerous, but not in the way Koresh imagines. How am I dangerous? The Empress moved closer, her height forcing Mira to look up. You make me question certainties I have never examined. You make me feel things the Vixari consider primitive, yet I cannot stop seeking your company. Myra's breath caught as Nilith raised one slender hand, fingertips hovering near but not touching her cheek. And what does that mean for me? For Earth. It means, Dr. Chen, that you have accomplished something no diplomat, no weapon, no threat could achieve. Nilith's voice softened. You have made the Empress of the Vixari Collective vulnerable. The chamber door slid open abruptly. Commander Koresh entered. his orange eyes narrowing at their proximity. Empress, forgive the intrusion. The council awaits your decision regarding the human colonies. Nihilith straightened, her expression becoming imperial once more. We will continue our discussion later. Dr. Chen, as Mira watched them leave, she realized the dangerous truth Nihilith had not acknowledged aloud, though. Empress was not the only one experiencing unexpected vulnerability in the strange glow of the alien palace. Mira's scientific objectivity was crumbling, replaced by something far more complicated and perilous. Forbidden Resonance 7 cycles had passed since Commander Koresh's interruption each night. Mira waited in her quarters, but the invitation to dine with Nihilith never came. Instead, she found herself under increased surveillance. Guards posted outside her door, monitoring devices no longer concealed. Talia, her attendant, answering questions with careful neutrality. The Empress is occupied with matters of state, was all Talia would say when Mira asked about Nihilith's absence on the 8th night. Mira paced her quarters, frustration building. The diplomatic mission had evolved into something personal, and now she was being shut out again without access to Nihilith. Earth's future remained uncertain. The colonies remained in danger, and something else lingered. Beneath her professional concern, a sense of loss. She wasn't prepared to examine. A soft chime interrupted her thoughts. The door slid open to reveal a Vixari guard. Mira didn't recognize. Follow, he said tersely. No questions. They traveled through rarely used corridors, descending into the lower levels of the Nexus where the crystal was unpolished and raw. Eventually, they reached a small transport pad. Step on the guard. Instructed the coordinates are preset. Heart pounding. Mira complied. A momentary disorientation, a flash of light, and she found herself in a small observatory dome. The curved ceiling was transparent, revealing the gas giant and its moons in breathtaking proximity. I apologize for the secrecy. Nihilith's voice came from behind her. Mira turned to find the Empress standing near a curved bench. Dressed in simple attire, her purple skin subdued to a deeper violet in the dim light. Koresh has been monitoring all official channels. Why? Mira asked. What's happening? Nihilith gestured for Mira to join her on the bench. The Council demands decisive action regarding human expansion. They see only two paths forward: full human submission to Vixari authority or immediate military response. Both options lead to conflict. Mira said humans won't surrender their autonomy peacefully. I am aware. Nihilith's 4 eyes looked tired, the luminescent patterns across her skin pulsing slowly, which is why I've been developing a third option, a proposal that might satisfy both species. She touched a control panel. A holographic display appeared between them, showing a treaty document. Mira scanned the text, her eyes widening at the implications. This is a proposed alliance, not domination. Not separation, but genuine cooperation. Yes, the Council believes it too generous. Too risky. Koresh calls it weakness. Nihilith's voice lowered. But there is one condition: they might accept a binding element that would symbolize the alliance's permanence. Something in Nihilith's tone made Mira look up from the document. The Empress was watching her with an intensity that sent a shiver along her spine. What binding element? A union, Nihilith said quietly, between Vixari and human leadership. A diplomatic pairing. The implication hung in the air. Between them, you mean marriage? Mira said finally. Between you and you. Nihilith confirmed. It would not be unprecedented in human history. Political marriages have sealed alliances for centuries, but those were between humans. Mira stood, moving toward the transparent dome. This would be something entirely different. Yes, Nihilith joined her, standing close enough that Mira could feel the subtle heat radiating from her purple skin. It would be unprecedented, revolutionary. Perhaps even evolutionary. Mira looked up at the Empress, studying her alien features that had somehow become familiar over their weeks together. Is this just politics for you? A necessary sacrifice for your people. Nihilith's luminescence pulsed in patterns Mira had come to recognize as emotional intensity. It began as politics, she admitted. A solution to a complex problem, but now she hesitated, her secondary eyes closing briefly. Now, I find the prospect holds personal appeal as well. The admission hung between them, charged with possibilities neither had dared acknowledge. Mira felt her scientific detachment slipping further away, replaced by something warmer and more dangerous. I don't know what to say. Say nothing yet. Nihilith reached out, her fingers finally making contact with Mira's cheek. The touch sent unexpected warmth cascading through her. "Consider the proposal. Tomorrow the council meets. I must give them an answer. And if I refuse?" Mira asked, even as she found herself leaning slightly into Nihilith's touch. "What happens to Earth? To the colonies? I cannot promise their safety." Nihilith's voice held genuine regret. "The collective fears human expansion. I can guide them. But I cannot control them entirely, so this isn't really a choice." Mira stepped back. "Breaking the contact, it's an ultimatum dressed as an offer." Nihilith's luminescence dimmed. "I am offering the only path to peace I can create. I wish it could be different, do you?" Mira challenged. "Or is this exactly what you wanted? The perfect solution to both political necessity and personal desire?" For a moment, Nihilith's regal composure faltered her, her eyes blinked in rapid succession. A sign of emotional distress Mira had rarely witnessed. "You think I orchestrated this? I think you're the empress of the most powerful collective in this sector of space. Nothing happens without your knowledge, your approval. Then you do not know me as well as I believed." Nihilith's voice grew quiet. "Even an empress has constraints. Even I must navigate between what is and what could be." Their eyes locked in silent challenge. Neither willing to retreat, Mira felt something shift between them. The careful diplomatic dance giving way to raw honesty. "If I agreed," Mira said finally, "what would this union truly mean? Would it be merely symbolic? Political theater to satisfy your council?" Nihilith moved closer again, her height casting Mira in her shadow. "It would be whatever we chose to make it," she said. "Political. Yes, but perhaps something more as well, something neither of us has named." The space between them seemed charged with possibility, with danger, with hope. The fate of worlds balanced on a decision that had become impossibly personal. As Azura Prime cast its purple light across them both, Mira realized she stood at a threshold no human had crossed before, and the path forward would change everything for humanity, for the Vixari, and for her own heart. Honest rebellion. Dawn found Mira sleepless. Watching Azura Prime's storms from her quarters, the council would convene in hours. Her answer, expected worlds, hung in the balance. Talia entered silently. "The Empress requests your presence at the council. She said your decision is required." The council chamber, intimidated by design, 12 Vixari elders flanked Nihilith's crystal throne. Commander Koresh stood at her right hand, his orange eyes cold with suspicion. Mira approached the center of the chamber. Feeling every gaze, Dr. Chen Nihilith's voice carried the full weight of her authority. "Have you considered our proposal? Will you accept the union to secure peace between our peoples?" In that moment, surrounded by alien power, Mira found clarity. "I cannot accept," she said simply. A ripple of murmurs passed through the council. Koresh leaned toward Nihilith, whispering urgently, her purple skin darkened with emotion. "Explain your refusal," Nihilith commanded. "Do you not understand what's at stake?" "I understand perfectly." Mira stepped closer to the throne. "Ignoring protocol, but this union would be built on coercion, not choice, a foundation of fear, not respect." Koresh moved forward. "This proves humans cannot be trusted.
How?
They reject reasonable terms." "Silence." Nihilith raised a hand, her eyes fixed on Mira. "Continue." "You don't want me," Mira said softly. "You want a symbol, a trophy, a political tool? The woman you spoke with in private deserves more, and so does the Empress I've come to know." Gasps echoed through the chamber. Such directness to the Empress was unprecedented. "What I offer instead is truth," Mira continued. "I believe we can forge peace without sacrificing either of our dignities. I believe you know this too, and if you truly feel what I suspect you do, you'll find a better way forward than ultimatums." Nihilith stood suddenly, her height towering over the chamber. "Leave us," she commanded. "All of you, Empress." "Protocol demands." Koresh began now. The single word echoed with imperial authority when the chamber emptied. Nihilith descended from her throne. "No one has ever spoken to me with such honesty."
Such defiance, perhaps.
"That's the problem," Mira replied. Nihilith circled her slowly. "You risk everything, your freedom, your world for principle, for truth." Mira corrected the foundation of any relationship worth having. Nihilith's luminescence pulsed with complex emotions. "And if I told you Truth compels me to admit I've never wanted anyone as I want you. That behind the politics lies genuine desire? Then I'd say find another way, Mira. Reached for Nyla's hand, one that begins with choice. Not coercion, their fingers intertwined. Alien and human there will be consequences, Nylith warned. The council expects resolution. Then give them one, Myra suggested. It's just not the one they expected, Stardust promises 3 months later. Mira stood before the United Earth Council in Geneva. Concluding her report, the Vixari Human Cooperative Treaty establishes mutual boundaries, scientific exchange, and cultural integration projects. The Vixari withdrawn claims on 2 contested colonies in exchange for exclusive mining rights in the Aldebaran sector. Admiral Cooper looked skeptical, and they agreed to this without the political union they initially demanded. Why? The Empress found wisdom in a different approach, Myra answered carefully. Sometimes honesty achieves what diplomacy cannot later. In her apartment overlooking Lake Geneva, Mira activated her private communication array. The air shimmered. Coalescing into Nylith's form, the treaty is ratified, Mira said, smiling your counsel. Reluctantly accepting Nihilus' purple skin shimmered with amusement. Koresh remained suspicious. But the economic benefits have silenced most opposition. Their conversation flowed easily, as it had since that day in the council chamber. When Nylith had surprised everyone, a treaty based on mutual respect rather than dominance, when she had sent Mira home not as a symbol, but as an equal partner in peace. The cultural exchange begins next month, Myra said. I'll be returning to the Nexus as lead researcher. Nylith's luminescence brightened, not as a prisoner this time. No. Mira's smile deepened, as a guest, a colleague perhaps. Something more, something undefined yet. Nylith suggested something we discovered together, without coercion, without politics, just truth. Justice, Mira agreed between them, across impossible distance. Connection pulsed like starlight, neither human nor Vixari. But something entirely new, something honest, something free as night fell over Earth. Mira looked toward the stars where Nylith watched from her crystal throne to women from different worlds, finding in each other what their civilizations most needed, not submission, not power, but understanding. The space between stars was vast, but no greater than the distance they had already crossed. Truth, it seemed, traveled faster than light.